we need to clear something up here. We had old Patty Mahomes on the show, and he told us a story prior to his draft interview with the Chiefs that you gave him the keys to you gave him the answers? Did you give him
answers to the test? Huh?
You gave him the answers to the test, Snags?
Yeah, man. Fortunately, it ended up working out pretty good. You know, I mean, Veach and I were, we knew how much Veach and Coach Reed liked them, and obviously I was in love with them too. So like you go into that process, and you guys know that whole deal with the combine and how it goes. But man, when you're convicted with somebody and you feel the way that we all did, I don't know. I guess it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission. One of those type of deals.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll never forget it because we just sat back and we went through off to the side in the deal, like in between meetings throughout the day. It was the middle of the day. We actually talked a little bit through August special, Trav.
Come on now, baby.
You know, just a little bit of some simple plays, but a few of them. And we also just said, hey, man, you got to get one or two wrong here. You can't be 100% on the test. You got to get like the 95. Yeah,
it'll be obvious. It'll be obvious.
Yeah, but he killed it in the deal. And I think it stayed pretty quiet for many years. And then I guess he's the one that busted it out a few years ago.
Yeah, I love it.
Fortunately, it ended up working out.
Unbelievable, dog.
Well, let me ask you this. What made you so confident that Pat was the guy coming out to be able to do that?
You know, watching the tape, when we watch these players on tape, you know, you sit there and you can't put the tape down. You just want to keep watching more and more and more. And as you're watching it, you just see the plays that he's making and these stupid throws that, you know, he saw so much drop 8 in college. There was so much drop 8. So it was like part of you was like, he's seeing all this drop 8. He's scrambling around and, you know, no one's better than him when he's outside the pocket running around. He can make special throws and he was doing a lot of that. So the question was like, okay, what type of person is he? And, you know, what's his, you know, football IQ like? And does he love the game and all the stuff, the intangible things? And so like, as we all started watching more and more tape, we were like, you know, Coach Reed and Veach and these guys were like, we gotta take these quarterbacks. We got to bring them into the room and spend like, you know, a good 6 to 8 hours with each of these guys in that draft class. And really, you know, we knew how much we loved the player, but bringing him in and just seeing him take it to the top with the person side of it was unbelievable. And like you could just see like he was special and you didn't know it until things were going to happen. But I mean, my gosh, like we were all on board. It was all conviction and I just couldn't put the film down. He was just special.
I hear you, man. I'm with you on the first time you meet him, man. That first, what's up, dog? That first, like, yo, it's good. It's like your family forever after you get that from him, man. He's such a good dude, and I already know he's gonna ace that part of the test every single time. And I'm sure the football IQ was already through the roof when he got in.
The second that happened, the moment it happened, we were super excited and. You know, it was one of those deals where then he came in as a freshman, or excuse me, as a rookie with Alex, you know, and it's like, and Alex taught me as a young position coach, you know, he's one of the most special human beings and people in my life. And what he did for that room and for Patrick and for myself and coach, everybody that year, I'll never forget it. And I just could tell story after story of that season of how good he was to Patrick and also how well Patrick came in. Like Patrick didn't come in trying to be like, hey, I'm the future guy.
He came in the best teammate he could possibly be.
No doubt. And it just took off. And I think like, you know,
but I'll say this though, a lot of the times that it's a two-way street, but the veteran in the room usually dictates how that goes. And because if the veteran is open to it and they embrace this opportunity to teach this young guy and to be a productive like room, it usually goes well, right?
Without a doubt. I mean, Alex is, you know, because of how good Patrick is, people forget what Alex did in the time that he was here.
Especially that year specifically.
That year, because we all remember, because we kind of took it personal, you know, everyone was calling Alex like a game manager, check down Charlie type guy. And go back to 2017, his last year when Patrick was drafted. Go back and check out the numbers and tell us who had the highest downfield. Like he didn't care, and Patrick or Alex was just killing it, man. And he's a winner. He's a hell of a person. And like you guys said, man, what he did for Patrick and for me as a coach. I mean, come on, man, that was unbelievable.
As good as gold, baby. What he did for me as a professional, his aura in the facility and how he conducted himself as a professional gave me an understanding of what I needed to get better at.
Sure.
And it wasn't necessarily the attributes. It was, how am I organizing all this information? How am I making myself better Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Like, how am I setting up that day on Tuesday? How am I setting up my day on Wednesday to understand the entire base game plan? You know what I mean?
Right.
Watching Alex and just talking to him about football, he gave you that confidence and understanding that he knew everything he could possibly need to know about the defense he was playing. And when you have that trust in not only the guy that's slinging the ball around, but when you have that trust in somebody next to you, Mitchell Schwartz was the exact same way. Somebody that I knew he knew the answers to the test, because he was so smart and he understood defenses like that. And Alex, I would just go up to him and talk to him about pointless backside of the routes where I knew when it was zone, he was going to the 3-by side. And I would just be in my mind like, hey, like, is there ever a chance you're kind of like peeking back here 1-0? You know what I mean? I would just go up to him and just ask him questions, trying not to be annoying with it. But I just loved talking ball with the guy. And he made me such a better player by just giving me just free wisdom, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he had so much common sense too. Some guys are super smart. He's super smart, really intelligent,
sure.
high football kid.
Yeah.
But he also had like the self-awareness of common sense of understanding why he did certain things. And I think to me, that's your perspective, Trav, and Pat has his own. But for me, I was a first-year quarterback coach in 2013. And the quarterback that we traded for to come into the Chiefs was Alex, his first year from San Fran.
Smitty, yeah.
He had 6 or 7 different coordinators at that time. He forgot more football than I knew. So me coming in to try to coach him, that wasn't easy. But again, he was able to learn how to trust me over time, and me, just try to kind of ease my way into it. Man, I'm just so indebted to Alex, man. He's just a special, special person.
I do got to ask this though. Back on Patty Mahomes, from that rookie year, you had your run in Chicago, and you've come back between that first year and the years now. Where do you think he's changed the most in terms of how he progressed his game from that first year?
Without a doubt, his protections. He came in his rookie year in 17 and really, he was just learning how to call plays. He was all no huddle. So take a snap under center, rookie year, understanding, coverages on the back end, protections. But now, you guys know how we do those walkthroughs in the morning. And as in 18, 19, 20, 21, those years where, everything was just, you guys were clicking, and he was learning through the coaches I talked to and through him, the protections. If he didn't get the protections right, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And you got to know where your hots are. You got to know where you're going with the football, understanding that part of it. And then you can take the ability to make the special throws and just know when that's going to happen. And now when I got back in 22 as a quarterback coach, and then 23, 24, the last 2 years as coordinator, I've really gotten to see him understand the student of the game part of not just understanding and being a master of protections. Now, his leadership, what he's learned through you, Trav, and your guys' time together of how to lead the players, but then also how to lead the coaches like us that are with him, how the communication part of listen, you might be explaining a certain route a certain way to a guy or a young guy, but also this is how I see it. This is how we see it. Think about, doing things this way. And so he gets why we're doing the big picture, but from, again, a player's perspective, think about it from this way or that way. He's grown that way. He would have never done that at his early years. There's a lot of things he didn't know. He does know a lot now. He knows what he's seeing coverage-wise. He knows when the blitzes are coming. And sometimes, it's our job as coaches to make sure that we don't let that get in the way. But he's grown in so many different areas. But probably the biggest part is the change he hasn't done. He's never changed as he's such a good person, and he still competes every single day.
It's Patty Mahomes, baby.
And everything he does is Patty Mahomes, 100% all the time. And he's just special. He's in a great place.